Today in Gopetru's Corner, we're going to look at adding and subtracting polynomials. So let's look at a few terms. First of all, we're going to talk about combining like terms a little bit later in the lesson. And when we're talking about that, we're talking about the same variable or the same letter raised to the same power or exponent. So here's a couple things. The degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree or greatest power of any term in the polynomial, so the highest exponent. A monomial, mono means one, so it's a number of variable or products of a number and one or more variables. So one term, basically. A polynomial, that's the big umbrella term, where it's a monomial or sum of two or more. We could have a binomial or a trinomial, which we'll talk about. Now, when we talk about standard form of a polynomial, so this has the terms written in order from greatest degree to least, so descending order. Okay, so let's classify some polynomials by the number of terms. So mono means one. That means there's one term, such as 3x. A binomial has two terms. So that's something like 2x plus 7. It's two terms because they're linked either by addition or subtraction. A trinomial, tri means 3, and that could be something like 4x to the second plus 7x minus 1. Now, when we're classifying polynomials by degree or power, a constant would be something that's just a number. So it would have a 0 degree. There would be no degree there, such as 7. Linear, that is something that the highest power is x, like 3x plus 4, right? The highest power there is 1. We just don't write that one. Quadratic means the highest power is 2. We have something to the second power, x to the second plus 3. Cubic is something to the third power, and that's something like x cubed plus we could have x to the second plus 2x minus 4. Okay, so using some of that information, let's write each polynomial in standard form. So the highest power there is 2x to the third. Then we have the second power, we're descending order, and again, that sign's going to go with it. And then we have plus 4x, so it's x to the first, and our constant or our number by itself is always going to be last. All right, let's take a look at the next one. First, I have negative b to the third. Again, that sign in front is attached to the variable, so that has to go with it. Then we have negative 10b to the second plus 5b plus 35, and that is in standard form. Okay, moving on. Again, here comes combining like terms. So things that are similar, same variable, same power, and we want it in standard form. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the highest power, which is x to the second. Now remember, there's a 1 in front. So when we combine that, I end up with 4x to the second. I have 4x and 2x. That's to the first power, so that gives me 6x. And my last one here is going to be plus 5. Looking at my next example, again, to the third power is my highest. So that's going to give me 12y to the third. I don't have anything to the second power, which is okay. Then I have negative 3y, negative 2y. I combine those, I get negative 5y. And then 7 comes down, and that constant is the last term. Okay, so now we're going to do some adding and subtracting. There is a vertical method and a horizontal method. It does not matter which way you do it. It's just two methods. You're going to just practice and choose the one you're most comfortable with. So I'm going to add these. So I need to group things that are like. So my vertical method is I'm going to stack one on top of the other. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to write it in standard form. So I have 5x to the second. That's negative x. That's to the first power plus 5. Now I'm going to look at the second one. This 3x to the third, I don't have a column for that. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze that up front. 3x to the third. And then I have plus x to the second. And then I have a negative x. Okay, when I combine them, my 3x to the third is by itself. And then I have 5x squared plus 6x squared. That gives me, 5x squared plus 1x squared gives me 6x squared. I have negative x and negative x, which gives me negative 2x. And I bring that plus 5 down. Now, we're going to do the same thing with the horizontal method. With the horizontal method, we group things that are similar, and we're going to go across. We're going to cross this way. So my highest power is to the third, and I don't have anything to combine that with. So I'm going to just put a little check so I don't miss anything. Then I have x to the second and 5x squared. So again, I'm going to put an addition sign between. So I have 5x squared plus x to the second. Check and check. And now I have negative x and negative x. So I'm going to have a plus negative x minus x. And again, check and a check so I don't forget anything. And then my last thing I have is plus 5. That's the only number or constant. So this one I can just bring right down, 3x to the third. This I'm going to combine, and that gives me 6x squared. Negative x and negative x gives me negative 2x. And then we bring down our constant, which is plus 5. So as you can see, it doesn't matter which method you use, we still get the same exact answer. So either method's okay. All right, now let's do the same thing, but this time we're going to talk about difference, and you can see we're subtracting here. So when we subtract, we have to distribute that negative sign. Okay, that first polynomial is going to stay the same. Negative times negative is going to be plus 16x squared. Now remember, when we're multiplying something by a negative number, we're simply changing the sign. So negative times a negative 7x, negative 7x, now we're going to have a plus 7x. Negative again times a negative gives me plus 3. If you want to write this polynomial, you can. Otherwise, you can just combine. So again, here is a 16x squared and a 7x squared. I'm going to make that 23x squared. Now I'm going to use that 8x here and 7x here, and that's going to give me plus 15x. And then I'm going to look at, I have negative 14 and positive 3 gives me a negative 11. So when I combine those like terms, that's what I get. Okay? Thanks so much for stopping by today. You have a great day.